Welcome back to my channel, guys. Let's start from where we in last video. Lu Fan was watching the whole fight as everything was pop up into his system window, while he thought that the warrior, the rogue, and the knight who were guarding the portal was a very reasonable configuration. Mission and strategy, especially for the uncle because he was a level 28 warrior who was about to change his profession for the second time. Suddenly, Kin raised her staff in the air and yellow aura started surrounding her all over Lighty, raising her up from the ground as she was chanting some spells and charging her attack. Finally, she attacked with her Holy Light Star Rain attack, which gathered energy and sent out a starlight rain towards the enemies, which caused holy damage to them. Within the range, and also healed the allied targets by the amount of damage received by the zombies. Everyone witnessed multiple meteorite-styled attacks, and Sanji along with the rogue lady immediately dodged the incoming attack. While all the zombies were now prey to Kin's huge area of effect attack, which decimated them and left no trace. She smiled while she told Lu Fan that this was his profession.
We come to know that Kin also had the hidden profession of the Holy Light Mage, which can combine attack and healing together. Even when the attack damage was lower than that of a mage, and the treatment was not as good as of a priest, it can do both of them at once, which was helpful for the team in many ways. The notification popped up telling Lufin that Kin was a white-level hidden professional, the Holy Light Mage. Even Lufin was surprised by realizing that he just met another hidden professional in such a short span of time. He even complimented the holy damage of the girl, which was very effective against the zombies. But the silence was short-lived as everyone felt an earthquake below their feet and somehow balanced themselves. Lufin realized that due to all the commotion, some elite monsters were alarmed and were now coming towards the whole group. Listening to the sounds of their steps, Lufin knew that they were quite a few in number. Suddenly, a blood-red hand came out of the ground and the system notification told Lufin that they were blood zombies of level 20, which can give 840 experience points, along with blood corpse poison sac and 90 dragon coins upon killing. These zombies have blood-sucking bite, which entangles, scratches, and bites the target, causing damage to them and healing the zombies at the same time. They also had corpse poison, which was inside their each and every attack, along with a new attack of blood fury, which allowed them to enter a violent state and increase their strength and agility by 40%. Even these zombies started to slowly come out from the ground because they wanted to kill the whole group of living beings present in front of them. Sunji was alarmed when he looked at the elite monsters coming at him and told the rogue lady to protect Kin and Lu Fan while he ordered Ja to come with him because they can't let these pieces of rotten meats break through the front row. Even Ja stopped the fight he was taking on and immediately followed the leader's command. Both of them were ready with their heavy attacks. And Sunji used his full moon onto a blood zombie, splitting his hand from his undead body. Meanwhile, Ja also used his sword to thrust it where the zombie's heart should be, giving them lethal damage. Or at least they thought so. Sunji screamed at Ja, asking him if he can draw his weapon out or not. But both of them were now in shock as they saw that the zombies were smiling and were not even showing a hint of damage that they took. Suddenly, Ja saw that the blood zombies started to absorb both of their weapons inside them. And they smiled and laughed frantically while growing big in size as they activated the corpse poison, which started infecting the group with the poison and healed the zombies in the process. Gia was not able to comprehend about how this was possible, and even Kin was in shock, telling everyone that the corpse poison requires the priest's clarity to remove it from the body. And she can't do so, thus meaning that she was unable to help anyone. Meanwhile, the zombies' growth was not stopping, and was now engulfing the knight's hand inside of them, also inflicting him with the corpse's poison damage, which was increasing by every second. Gia was now desperate, and screamed in pain while asking all of them to come and help him. He told Sanji to release his weapon quickly, otherwise he will get infected too. And after doing just that, Sunji ran towards the knight in the hope of saving him. He ordered the rogue lady to come to the front row and defend him from the blood zombies, while he pulled out the knight from the grasp of the muscular blood zombie. But she was not able to help them because she was busy fending off zombies, which were trying to make her like them, too. Suddenly, they heard Lufin's voice, who told Sanji and the knight to chill out and let the lady continue to fight. We see that one of Lufin's eyes was glowing with a crimson-red color, as he had the epic machete in his hand, ready to slay all the monsters. Sunji wanted Lu Fan to get out of the way of the red blood zombies, thinking that he will be brutally damaged if he did not do so. But Lu Fan has an intense determination in his eyes, as he used his legendary Ink Dragon machete, and immediately attacked the blood zombie's throat, with yellow flaming aura surrounding him all over. along with his legendary weapon. Everyone was shocked to the core by seeing this phenomenon unfold, and the most shocked among them was Sun Ji, who was not able to believe that Lu Fan was able to defeat the zombie. On the other hand, he was returning Sun Ji his sword, while telling him to not back down and keep moving forward with a smile on his face. But the uncle ignored that, and immediately asked Lu Fan about how high his level was exactly because it was impossible for a newly transferred student to have such high attack power. But there were more important things in hand. The paladin, Little Jia, was gravely wounded, and Kyn immediately came towards him while telling him to hang in there as he's going to get healed, Lufin. And smiled with the dragon aura emanating from one of his eyes. While he told Sun Ji that he was a normal level 14 student, and there was no need for him to lie to anyone about that. He told everyone that he just came to Mount Shabazan for doing some practice for the great exam. Qin was healing Little Jia while he heard these words coming out from the stranger, and realized that Lu Fan was a student from the same year as her. She was not able to comprehend about how a level 14 student actually had higher attack power than the uncle who was level 28. But suddenly, a red blood zombie attacked the lady from behind with a gruesome smile on its face. The robe lady jumped in between their way with her crossbow, while telling Qin to watch out. But to her surprise, the one he threatened to subdue was even faster than her, and immediately got to the zombie, pinning it down to the wall and lethally wounding the creature with his legendary machete. As he took out his weapon from the blood zombie, Lufin told everyone that the level of zombies in the village will only get higher and higher. He proposed an offer to them that he will fill the gap in the front row and asked them if they were okay with this decision. Sanji was thinking about this offer, while the ladies remembered a rumor about a person in the Jangai city, and wondered if that person was none other than Lu Fan. Qin smiled while telling him that they will count on him from this point on, and if he and the uncle lead the team in the front. The lady can take care of Little Jia and the robe lady will cover the rear. She even informed Lufin that the secret realm guardian should be in the village. Hearing that, Lufin told the group his name and started getting ahead of everyone while signaling them to come fast and go deeper into the realm. But hearing the name was a great shock to the whole group as what they thought was indeed true, and Lufin was the rumored hidden class Dragon Tamer that recently awakened. But Qin was still not able to comprehend about how the Dragon Tamer was so strong when it was the weakest class. As the scene shifts, we see that Lufin and the others were now at the center of the village and were killing each and every blood zombie coming to their way. Lufin was fighting while he thought that Qin's profession cannot remove the corpse poison, and the teleportation gate only appears after defeating the secret realm guardian. Lufin realized that they have to hurry, or Little Jia will die in the secret realm as the corpse poison spreads, and then he might even turn into a zombie. But the robe lady wondered about why there was no trace of the secret realm guardian even in the center of the village. Little Jia noticed that some zombies were circling Sanji from behind, and there was a rustling sound coming from the debris behind him. He mustered up all the strength he had, and yelled at the uncle to watch out as he dropped down onto the ground and fainted. Seeing this, Qin ran towards him while yelling at him to hang in there. But then, a red beam of light started shining above the group from the debris. As they turned around, they saw a huge iron-skinned zombie with multiple heads and one main red eye which was coming towards them with insane speeds. We come to know that the iron-skinned zombie was a level 20 monster, which gave 40 dragon coins upon defeat along with 720 experience. It had the corpse poison attack, along with assimilation absorption, which absorbs the poison target and merges with itself, increasing the zombie's maximum HP. It even had steel skin, which made the iron zombie enter into an iron skin state, which increased its defense and endurance by 40%. Purple-head lady gasped as she knew that the secret realm guardian has appeared in front of them. Seeing the iron-skinned zombie, Lufin understood that Little Jia's corpse poison has worsened to the point where it can attract iron-skinned zombies towards him. He screamed at the group to quickly defeat the zombie before it tries to assimilate and absorb the paladin. Hearing that, Sunji immediately ran towards the zombie and attacked him with Moonlight Slash. But to no avail, his slash was not even able to give even a single scratch to the iron-skinned zombie. Even Lufin jumped into the fight once again, while awakening his dragon aura. Because he knew that there was no time left to him for letting the zombies attack slowly because the corpse poison was spreading very fast. He immediately took his black machete and pierced it through the iron-skinned zombie's main red one eye, but to no avail. Nothing happened to the creature, because he was now into the steel skin state, which was increasing his defense and endurance by 40%. Lufin looked at his ink dragon scale machete, while he thought that he needed 2 more hits, but they must be faster because they had no time. And the zombie can come and absorb little Gia at any time now. Suddenly he looked at the status window, and saw the dragon blood armor skill which transformed the user partly into the dragon. Meanwhile, the iron skin zombie finally ran towards the paladin, while it was charging its assimilation absorption skill, ready to absorb the poor guy. But at that crucial moment, Lufin yelled at Kin to use her holy spells in coordination with him while he began transforming his hand by using the blood dragon armor. He told the uncle to protect little Gia with the help of the purple-head lady. We see that as Lufin's transformation was complete, one of his hand was now converted into a dragon hand. And listening to his commands, even Kyn was ready and started chanting her holy spells with her staff up in the air. Lufin and Kyn ran towards the iron-skinned zombie and our boy jumped at the creature with all his might. While the Holy Light Mage also used her Holy Starlight Rain attack onto the undead creature in the hope to defeat it once and for all by giving it massive damage. The iron-skinned zombie boss was running towards Lufin and the group with insane speeds while it screamed that it wanted fresh blood and flesh. Our boy Lufin jumped into the air, ready to attack the unshakable creature right during its movement. And we see that suddenly the monstrous iron-skinned zombie started disintegrating and its skin started falling bit by bit. Looking at that, everyone was surprised, while the purple-head lady realized that the zombie was disintegrating as it increases its speed. Hearing that, the uncle understood that the iron-skinned zombie always relied on constant fusion and absorption technique to become huge and to maintain its body. Lufan instantly realized that if the iron body was not the original iron-skinned zombie, then the original body must have been wrapped inside all the iron. Sunji Gave was too impressed with our boy's thinking capabilities and instant action. Over many years serving the Qin family, he had already seen all kind of masters, but had never seen someone like Lufan because he was definitely a hidden profession. Suddenly we see that the iron-skinned zombie's skin disintegrating too much. And finally, the original head of the zombie creature was now in front of everyone. Noticing that Kin told Lufin about it, and he started running towards the body once again with insane speeds as he transformed his hands into the dragon hand like before. Our boy jumped with all its might and punched the red crimson eye of the iron-skinned zombie with his dragon hand while clenching its red eye into his hands and decimating it with the firepower. The zombie started screaming in pain and agony as fire burned his original body down to smithereens. Finally, the zombie was completely destroyed and our boy Lufin landed onto the ground while undoing his hand transformation and getting his legendary black machete back into his hands. Seeing this, everyone was shocked to the core, not able to understand about how a freshman was able to defeat the guard of the secret realm of chance. Even Kin was a little tense as she had never seen a powerful skill which can easily make a level 20 boss drop dead before. She just wanted to know about who Lufin exactly was. As the smoke clears, we see a silver chest which was the iron-skinned zombie's treasure box of level 20. Seeing that Kin sighed as she told Lufin that her group will abide by the agreement and distribute the rewards according to the rules. She even apologized to Lufin because they were not familiar with each other before, and the whole group looked down on him without realizing his true power. And it was them who were rude to the boy even when he was not. Hearing that even Sunji complimented Lufin, telling him that he was definitely capable of passing through the secret realm all alone. And now it seemed that the whole group was there to make up for the number instead of Lufin himself. With a smile, Lufin thanked the uncle while telling Kin that she should be the one to distribute the rewards to the group. Hearing that, Kin opened the chest, but everyone was shocked by seeing the rewards. As the chest opened, it had multiple bottles of strength potion, which was the normal quality consumable, and increased strength by 2 points when consumed. The chest also had multiple antidote potions of rare quality, which eliminate core poison when they are consumed. But seeing that the purple-head lady doubted that the rewards from the secret realm of chance were too underwhelming, the chest also had the morning bracelet of excellent quality, which required level 10 to wear, and increased strength points to 16, and endurance to 17. Looking at the bracelet, even Sanji was now in doubt thinking that all the rewards were very shabby. And it was not quite right considering that the iron-skinned zombie was the secret realm's boss. Hearing everyone, even Lu Fan, started thinking about what the real matter could be. Meanwhile, the girl wanted the uncle to make little Jiha drank the antidote potion, so that he can be cured as soon as possible from the deadly poison inside his body. After distributing all the rewards to everyone, Kin smiled as she gave the morning bracelet to our boy Lufin while telling him that he deserved it along with the strength potions and antidote potions. He smiled while thinking that the Kin family was really a very disciplined one. Sunji made Jiha drink the potion so that he could recover from the deadly poison which was infecting him. After giving all the equipment, Kyn started wondering about how strange it was that she defeated the boss but can't see the portal to get out of the secret realm of chance yet. Lufin was equipping the morning bracelet as he noticed something ominous coming towards their way while the purple-head lady suggested everyone that they should start looking around for the portal. But hearing that our boy screamed at the ladies to not move an inch, Lufin was able to see at his system that even when they defeated the blood zombies and the iron skin zombies, they were not the final boss of the morning village. And someone was still left. Hearing that, Sanji exclaimed, asking Lufin about the basis of his surety that someone was still left. But before Lufin can even answer, Kin told the uncle that as a holy light mage, even she can sense a very dark existence not too far away from them. We come near the lakeside of the morning village and see that it was all dark and gloomy with the water giving off a stench not bearable by anyone at all. Even the group instantly agreed that if the lady says that someone is nearby, then something must have happened. And for that matter, the secret realm of chance was not that big either. So, maybe they have missed to check a place when they first entered inside the morning village. We see that inside the water there was a big tentacle monster with multiple gruesome eyes and red crimson pupils, which are seething in anger due to the whole group defeating many of its minions. Lufin was sensing everything, and knew that the imminent danger was coming sooner than anyone could think. Suddenly, we see that multiple tentacles with a large number of eyes come out of the ground, and everyone was shocked to the core while they maintained the space between them and the monster. Even the status window was not able to tell about what the monster was and what its level was. Realizing that Lufin was right all along, Sunji understood that this tentacle monster must be the final boss. Everyone got away from the gruesome tentacle hands while Sunji tried to defend them with his red crimson sword. But as multiple tentacles attack him, he got thrown several meters from where he was standing due to the sheer force and power of the monster tentacles. Seeing that everyone was surprised that their highest level member of the group was now knocked onto the ground, suddenly, Kin sensed that the tentacles were looking at her from all around. And the next moment they tried to grab the lady with insane speeds. In the midst of chaos, the lady was not able to comprehend about what was happening and can only scream and not do something. But our boy Lufin comes like a blazing fast turret and instantly catches the lady before the monster can get a hold of her. Even the lady can't stop blushing after seeing this heroic act of our boy. But we see that tentacles still attacked Lufin and threw him onto the ground along with the lady. The other group members immediately ran towards the couple while the purple-head lady asked Kin if she was okay. Again, no one cares about the real hero in this story. But anyways, suddenly we see a dark purple aura coming out of the river water in an instant, while the purple-head lady was stunned in deep fear. Everyone turns around and starts running towards the monster, and we see that the whole monster finally came out of the pond. While in the middle of the tentacle body, a lady with long hair and chained hands were looking at the whole group in anger and disgust. Let's call her mommy boss from now. I think it suits it more. The lady was the morning corpse of level 25. Who is really the boss of the secret realm with a strength of 27 and agility of 183 along with spirit of 150 and stamina of 266. The lady was entangled with corpse aura and spreads it all the time, which decreased all attributes of all creatures in the secret realm by 20%. She also had the chain whip, which caused a lot of damage when it reached the target. She had resentment explosion, which exploded the accumulated resentment and drives back all approaching enemies and inflict corpse poison. We see that the grieving mommy boss with chains shackling her hand was now standing with the help of her tentacles, looking at Sanji along with the others. While the purple-head lady was surprised by looking at the real boss of the secret realm. As little Gia was now conscious, he wanted to fight the boss too. But Sanji calmed the paladin down, telling him that he can still fight, and he will protect everyone including Gia, until he fully recovers. But as Jia still wanted to fight, Sanji turned towards him, telling him to not force himself as soon as his body was just gaining some energy. But the uncle didn't notice that the tentacles of the mommy boss were going to slam him from above. Suddenly, the uncle looked at it and was somehow able to block the tentacle with his word. And Luffy ran towards the real monster with his big black legendary machete into his hand. He knew that the uncle and little Jia were barely holding on against the boss and that they can only rely on him to really defeat the boss. Luffy immediately realized that as long as the boss was still a zombie, there was only one way to defeat it. Luffy looked at the original body of the mommy boss, who was actually controlling the tentacles, and immediately jumped towards her. But seeing that, the mommy boss made a distorted face, and her mouth opened weirdly as she started screaming at our boy Luffy. The creature activated the Corpse Kai envelopment, which emitted Corpse Kai constantly, reducing all the attributes of creatures in the secret realm by 20%. Everyone was now affected by this attack, including our boy Luffy, but somehow he was able to still go on and reached one of the tentacle of the mommy boss while it attacked our boy ferociously. Luffy jumped onto the chain which was shackling the mommy boss and started running on it to reach the main body as soon as he can. Even the main body was shocked by this behavior of her boy, but Kin immediately warned Luffy to watch out from the iron shackles of the mommy boss. The main body immediately started using the chain lash attack, which whipped the chains from the sunken lake towards its targets, causing massive damage. Just after this attack, Luffy was not able to maintain its balance onto the chain and started falling off with the machete still into his hands. Now the main boss of the secret realm was so angry that it looked at the whole group in disgust and anger and started using its chain lash attack with an intention to kill all of them. Sanji immediately blocked the chain and told Kin to be careful while fighting the secret boss. The purple-head lady and little Jia were also defending from this attack, but the paladin's shield already broke from just one impact of the secret boss. Luffy was still on the offensive, trying to somehow reach the main body. But he immediately noticed that a tentacle hand swept through the air right beside him and straight away got to Sanji and the group. While the monster told Luffy that if he continued to resist its attack, the whole group is going to die. Knowing that, Luffy was not able to contain his anger and still continued going towards the main body of the monster, telling her to get out of the way and let them leave the dungeon. He even used his Dragon Strike attack once again, which mobilized the dragon energy to give a powerful blow to the enemy with the help of current weapon. The mommy boss was getting hurt and started doing desperate attacks of the chain lash, giving a continuous assault to the group and our boy, Luffy. He finally used the dragon blood transformation and transformed its hand into a dragon glow, which helped him to break all the chains attacking him and the whole hunter group. Luffy finally landed onto the ground after he broke all the chains of the lady which were attacking them. Sanji even told Luffy that the boss was not something that they can deal with right now, and he even advised Luffy that they should retreat first and strategize about dealing with this secret boss. Even Kin was worried about Luffy, and she told him that the whole group in bad shape and they were of no match of the secret boss. She even added that they will all be in great danger if they did not get out of the secret realm right now. But as the grieving lady was still looking at Luffy and was ready to attack once more, he told the whole group that they should retreat to the village first, where the zombies have already been eliminated. He gave the task to the uncle and the purple-head lady for them to make sure that the other two people of the group should be safe. Hearing that, even Kin was deeply worried, asking Luffy about what will he do by staying near the main mommy boss. Hearing that, Luffy dismissed the group with his hand, while telling Kin that he will defeat the boss no matter what it took. And he once again told the whole group to retreat quickly. Hearing that, even the purple-head lady liked the idea of Luffy, and asked Kin to retreat with them. The lady was deeply disappointed that they cannot help Luffy at all, and he had to deal with the monster alone. But on the other hand, Luffy raised his hand into the air, and a flaming aura surrounded the battlefield. While opening that portal, he thought that even without the debuff of 20% reduction in attributes, which was given to the group by the grieving mommy boss, the whole group would still not be able to help our boy Luffy that much. So instead of making them struggle, our boy wanted to have someone who can really cooperate with him and can really deal with the real boss of the secret realm. The mommy boss was still angry at Luffy, and was looking at him with a killing intent, but even the creature was not able to comprehend about what was happening. Suddenly, Luffy told someone to come out of the portal and join our boy for some fun. Seeing that, the black legendary dragon came out of the portal and immediately grabbed the tentacles of the secret boss with her jaws. Everyone was shocked to the core by this sudden revelation of Luffy's secret. They were not able to believe that they were actually witnessing the presence of a mighty dragon in the secret realm. We see that even the dragon was way bigger than she was before, when Luffy got the dragon for the first time. The legendary dragon grabbed each and every tentacle coming at her with her sharp claws and huge hands. Meanwhile, the group was still in shock, seeing that the mysterious kid Luffy summoned a giant dragon into the secret realm. Even when Luffy had the plan to not reveal the dragon to the hunter group, there was no other way to defeat the secret boss without summoning her. Agreeing to every order of her master, the dragon immediately used the giant assault attack, which made the dragon rush at high speed and then bite the target, causing continuous bleeding damage. By doing this, the dragon broke multiple tentacles of the main body, causing the zombie mommy boss to scream in immense agony and pain, making her roar and to frantically attack. But even after all of this, the dragon was not ready to stop and gave a final attack to the secret boss of the secret realm, taking all the shackles of the mommy boss and making her submerge into the water once again. And with that, finally the secret boss of the realm of chance was defeated. Sunji was not able to understand about how Lu Fan was able to dismantle the whole enormous boss in just 2 blows. It was simply a terrifying thought to him. Even little Geo was not able to believe that he was witnessing the might of the dragon with his own eyes. Everyone in the group believed that seeing the dragon meant their inevitable death, but that was not the case, and they were truly shaken and terrified while also being amused. Even Kin understood that the person in the recent rumors she heard about Zhonghai's Sedum was really our boy, the one and only worthless Dragon Tamer Lu Fan. We see that Lu Fan was patting the dragon for the work she did, telling her that she did very good work. Lu Fan approached the chest and opened it. The chest began to glow, and as he looked inside, he started smiling. Littlekin held the magical staff with both hands and stood behind watching him, while the rest of the team simply stood silently watching. As Luffy opened the chest, it contained several objects. The first one was the Holy Light Staff. This object was of excellent quality, with 32 spirit points and 19 stamina points. The required level to use it was level 10. The staff had an ability called Holy Light Seal, which allowed the user to bind the target with light. The duration of the bind depended on the user's spiritual attributes. The second object was a robe called Twilight. This object was of excellent quality. It had 35 spirit points, 15 stamina points, and the required level to use it was level 10. This outfit had an ability called Light Flow, which allowed the user to use light to create a barrier to protect themselves from attacks. The amount of damage that the barrier could absorb depended on the user's spirit attributes. The third object was the Ring of Morning. This object was of rare quality. It had 57 spirit points, 21 stamina, and 12 strength points. The required level to use it was 15. This ring had an ability called Morning Aura that allowed the user to assign any target to obtain the Morning Aura. Any attack launched by the person with the aura would be added with a resentment value. When the resentment value accumulated, the attacking target would be affected by negative effects such as poisoning, bleeding, and dizziness caused by corpses. The fourth and final object was the Job Transfer Scroll. This object was of rare quality, and it had no points as it was consumable. The effect of this object was to induce a low probability that a non-hidden profession would be transferred to the hidden profession of the current profession. Without thinking twice, Luffy chose the Job Transfer Scroll. He stood up, and while holding the scroll in his hand, he turned towards Little Chin and the others. As his body emitted a blue energy, he revealed to them that he was going to choose the scroll. A system window appeared to inform him that he had successfully obtained the Job Transfer Scroll. Littlekin approached Luffy and explained that he didn't need to go out of his way for them at all. According to the rules, these items belonged to him. And Luffy replied saying that he wasn't pretending to be a gentleman, and all the equipment had spirit attributes. The spiritual equipment was more suitable for her. He also added that all he needed was this Job Transfer Scroll. Littlekin approached the chest, and while looking inside, she explained to him that if she hadn't met him, then all of them could have died in this place. Luffy simply stood still, watching without saying a word, wondering what she was planning to do. Several seconds later, after looking into the chest, she took out the morning ring from the chest. She extended her hand towards Lufin, and while looking into his eyes, she asked him to please accept this ring. Wait a minute, is this a proposal? Our Giga Chat boy has secured a second waifu, guys. Without thinking twice, Lufin grabbed the ring, and while he was holding it in his hand, he closed his eyes and imagined doing naughty things with her. With a smile thought that if she acted this way, then he couldn't do anything. Little Chin stood up, and while holding the magic staff, she started staring into Lufin's eyes and began to blush, while imagining doing dirty things to him. Wait, what the stop it? Get some help. She started wondering what else he hadn't shown to her. He was a very difficult person to figure out. While the dragon lady was playing with the filler guy, Uncle Sanji approached them, and while looking at Lufin thought that he was a very interesting person. Purplehead also approached them, and while looking at Lufin, she smiled and explained to Littlekin that it was time to prepare to return. That same night, several hours later, Lufin returned to his Aunt Hanchi's bun shop. She threw herself into his arms, closed her eyes, and explained that this was too dangerous because just by listening to him. I am getting a different kind of feeling from this interaction, guys. Maybe it's just me, but you can let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? She continued saying that she started getting scared since he had encountered so many dangers in the past few days. Upon hearing this, Lufin became somewhat confused. While he was staring into his aunt's eyes, he asked her what had happened. He also requested that she release him quickly since he had been in the wilderness for several days. And his clothes were very dirty. Instead of letting go, Hanki hugged him even tighter, closed her eyes, and while crying, explained to him that Lu Fan wasn't dirty at all. Indeed, it's a tight hug, everything in between is getting squished. She also added that because he had left without informing her, she hadn't been able to close her eyes during the past nights out of fear that once she woke up from sleep, her beloved Lu Fan wouldn't have returned home. Lu Fan closed his eyes, approached her, placed a hand on her back, and with a pleasant smile, apologized for leaving without warning. He also asked her not to worry, because he would never let her worry again. Whatever you guys say, this chapter is going sideways. I think our Giga Chad boy has an aunt with benefits, and a cute one indeed. While he was wiping her tears away with his hand, he closed his eyes and explained with a smile that everything was fine. He also asked her to stop crying. Upon hearing this, she stopped crying and thought that Lufin was a very good person. Then she turned to one side and began stroking the head of the dragon Xiaoya, who sat on the floor, closed her eyes, and started smiling because she was enjoying it a lot. While she was looking at Xiaoya, she explained to Lufin that she had been very surprised when she first saw her. She also added that such a cute girl like her was truly an extremely powerful dragon. Lufin simply smiled at this statement. Hanki approached Xiaoya and asked if she had not eaten enough in the past few days, so she asked her if she was hungry. Upon hearing this, Xiaoya began nodding to indicate that she was indeed hungry. While the two of them were talking, Lufin approached them holding the job transfer scroll in his hand, looked at his aunt. He started explaining that this was the reward from the dungeon that he had specifically chosen for her. He brought the scroll closer to her and explained that if she changed from one job to a hidden job then she would no longer have to keep watching this bakery. Hanki stood up and explained that she couldn't use the job transfer scroll because it was too expensive. She advised him to simply sell it, since as he had left the weapons and equipment with the little Quinn of the Qin family. She recommended him to buy equipment so that his results would be the best during the big exam. Just before she could finish speaking, Lufan took out his mobile phone and showed her the balance he had in his bank account. He had a pleasant smile on his face as he explained to her that he no longer lacked money or equipment. Seeing that Lu Fan had so much money in his bank account, she was amazed. He approached her and explained to her that he had sold many of the materials he had collected during this trip. He also added that his travel companion, Little Chin, had promised him a reward of 100,000 yuan. After explaining this to her, he asked his aunt to believe his words as they would never have to worry about money again. Upon hearing this, Hanchi approached him, clenched her fist, and while looking into his eyes, couldn't help but shed a tear of joy. Lufan began to bring the job transfer scroll closer to her, and insisted that it was better to use it now. She simply extended her hands towards the scroll, and while looking at Lu Fan with a happy expression, she thought he was right. She opened the scroll and it started to shine while her body emitted a blue energy. Her hair and dress began to float, leaving her surprised. Several seconds later, slowly the scroll began to disappear and she was floating in the air with the help of 2 helium balloons. She started floating in the air and absorbed the energy from the scroll. Lu Fan was covering his face with his hand due to the intense light. He looked at Han Chi and asked if she had been successful. While her body was still surrounded by blue energy and her hairs were floating, she slightly turned toward Lu Fan and explained to him that she had succeeded as she had obtained the best hidden occupation of a chef called Enchantment Chef. Lu Fan was surprised and asked her if there was anything special about this new, hidden profession. She explained to him that she had a skill called enchantment cooking that allowed her to prepare food with various buffs. Lu Fan praised her, saying that his aunt's cooking was very good, so the additional attributes were going to be very high. Upon hearing this, she started smiling and explained that he was just speaking highly of her. Lu Fan decided to change the subject and asked her where Xiaoyi had gone. Xiaoyi had taken advantage of the fact that the two of them were talking to go to the kitchen and eat all the food. After filling her stomach with all the buns, she fell asleep on the ground. That same night, in the study room of Qin's family villa, Qin Kui went to her father's office and sat on a sofa. While her father was sitting in an office chair holding a champagne glass in his hand, he turned towards her and asked if it had really been a dragon tamer named Lu Fan who had summoned a powerful black dragon that saved your lives. Qin Kui closed her eyes and explained to him that her stubbornness had almost cost them their lives. She continued saying Lu Fan was too strong, despite both of them having hidden professions. The difference between her and him was like that between a firefly and the moon. While her father was swirling his wine glass, he started looking outside through the window, and asked her if she had told anyone else about the dragon. She replied that she hadn't because she had made a promise to Lu Fan that the matter regarding the dragon would not be revealed outside by the Qin family. Her father Qin Shanhai turned his head towards her and praised her for doing a good job. He also asked her how many of those people who coveted the power of the dragons would remain calm once this information was leaked. Little Qin stood up, and while staring into her father's eyes, she clenched her fist tightly and begged him not to leak the information since Lu Fan had saved all their lives. She asked him if he had anything against Lu Fan's dragon. To her response, Qin Shanhai started laughing out loud. He asked his daughter if she believed that her father was that kind of person. He also asked her how she was going to pay Lu Fan for saving their lives. Upon hearing this, Little Qin felt quite relieved. She closed her eyes and explained to her father that when she had invited Lu Fan to join the team, she had promised him a reward of 100,000 yuan. Qin Shanhai sighed and advised her to take a purple tongue card and personally visit Lu Fan's the next day to thank him. She simply closed her eyes and nodded. Then she asked her father why he didn't come with her, if he was so curious about Lu Fan. Qin Shanhai sighed and winked at her, while explaining that he also wanted to meet the Dragon Master, but couldn't go, because he had important matters to attend. Early morning the next day, the princess of Taiki Kingdom came from the Dragon Kingdom to study in Zonghai. The princess was a short girl who carried a magic staff and was being accompanied by her assistant. A tall man with black hair wearing black armor, a magic wand, and carrying a suitcase. They often had business dealings, so they still had to greet them. But coming here when the big exam was about to take place wasn't for studying abroad. The princess and her assistant arrived at Hank's bakery. While she was preparing the pastries, damn, this woman always has some lusty poses to show us. Well, I am not complaining. She noticed that she had customers. She turned her head towards them and asked them to wait for a moment. Then she slightly opened the door, and with a smile explained to the visitors that there were no steamed buns today. The princess asked her subordinate if this was the place they were looking for. She questioned if he had brought her to a garbage dump. Upon hearing this, the man explained that he would never dare to do such a thing. He also added that according to their investigation, this was indeed the place they were looking for. While the aunt was asking them about who they were, the man forcefully pushed the door open, causing the edge of the door to hit Han Ki, and she screamed due to the pain. Both the little princess and man entered the store and the princess turned her head towards her and explained that she was here to find someone. She asked if she knew a dragon tamer named Lu Fan. Upon hearing the commotion, Lu Fan came down the stairs. He looked towards the door and asked his aunt if someone was looking for him. Then he notices her aunt in pain and holding her arm. Upon seeing this, Lu Fan panicked and asked her if she was okay. While the princess covered her nose and complained to the guy that this place was filled with an unpleasant smell, quickly, Lu Fan approached Auntie Han Kei. And while holding her hand, asked if she was okay. He also asked what was happening. She explained that she was fine. While they were talking, the princess caught his attention and asked him if he was Lu Fan. She explained that she herself, the princess, had made a special trip to see him specially. Lu Fan turned towards her and asked who she was and why she was looking for him. The man introduced her and explained to Lu Fan that she was Princess Jinju from the Taisi Kingdom, and he introduced himself as Kui Hong Tai, the princess's assistant. With a smile, the princess explained that she had come here to give him a breakthrough opportunity. Lu Fan was confused by this statement. She continued saying that being a dragon tamer must be a tough job. Then she reached out her hand towards Kui Hong Tai. Upon seeing this, he nodded and opened the suitcase. Upon seeing what the suitcase contained, Lu Fan was surprised and started sweating. It didn't take long for him to realize that it was a dragon egg. Princess Jinju told him that as long as he accepted the request, the dragon egg would be all his. Upon seeing Lu Fan's expression, she pointed at him with her finger and she explained to him that the conditions were very simple. She wanted him to be her slave and do everything she told him without disobeying. I think this spoiled little brat needs some taming. Kui Hong Tai was holding the egg with both hands while showing it to Lu Fan. The bratty princess started explaining that the egg is the reward that she obtained in the armored dragon's lair. She was in a delusion that it was the only dragon egg in the world. Lu Fan's aunt was still confused with the terms of the contract, and questioned the harsh terms of making her precious nephew into a slave. Lu Fan opened the status window to check the status of the egg. It was an egg of an armored dragon with a natural, tough shell. The tough shell reduced incoming damage by 30% and the only pathetic attack the armored dragon could do was swinging its giant tail in a fan-shaped area. This land dragon was even lower than a wyvern. While Lu Fan was checking the stats, the princess mistook him as he was scared and could not speak. She even called the pathetic egg a powerful dragon. Lu Fan cut her off and told her the attributes were good, but the only thing this armored dragon has is endurance. He joked if they call it a dragon. With this remark, the princess was shocked and questioned if Lu Fan really knew what he was seeing, and if he didn't understand what a dragon egg means to a dragon tamer. While the bratty princess was lost in thought, the aunt was questioning how could a child be like her and demand someone to be her slave. Lu Fan assured her that she did not need to worry, and he would handle the situation. The princess continued her tantrum, saying that a dragon tamer, without a dragon is worthless, and as long as Lu Fan becomes her servant, he can become the strongest person in history. She questioned, is he not excited about thinking of being famous and powerful? While trying to put on a fake smile, and being as polite as he can, he said, I refuse. That's our Giga Chad boy. I knew he would never accept that crappy offer. Now the only thing left is to teach this girl some manners. This refusal hit the princess like a truck and she gets isekai'd into a new world. She questioned Lu Fan to rethink and make sure what he was saying. She was angry that he was refusing to become her servant and refusing to become a dragon tamer who would make history. At this point, Lu Fan was annoyed and told her to leave if this was the only matter she came for. He was not interested in the dragon egg. And told her to stop that crappy joke of him being her servant. Hearing this remark, Kui Hong Tai defended the princess by saying that she is personally giving him a chance to rise to prominence. He called Lu Fan an ignorant fool for speaking disrespectfully to the princess. Chance. Respect. Huh, don't be ridiculous. I won't be anyone's servant. Lu Fan replied, Kui Hong Tai, teach him a lesson. The princess yelled angrily while pointing at Lu Fan. He readied his fists and replied in agreement. Hearing this, the aunt came in front of Lu Fan while telling Princess and Kui Hong Tai to wait and not be angry. She explained that Lu Fan didn't want this and they should just drop the matter. In an instant, Kui Hong Tai closed the distance and punched her aside while yelling that the princess had given her order. And she should stand aside. Lu Fan was too shocked in this situation and tried to help her stand up while asking if she was injured and let him help her. She was holding her swollen red cheek and replied that she was fine. Kui Hongtai was readying his fist for the next attack while saying that even mere commoners dare to defy the noble princess of Taiji. He wanted to teach them a lesson, the hard way. The ant noticed Kui Hongtai's attack and yelled Lu Fan's name. In an instant, Lu Fan reacted and launched an attack toward Kui Hongtai. He pointed his big black machete at Kui Hongtai while warning that he had hurt his family and he would kill him now. Kui Hongtai was shocked by the attack and his cheek was bleeding. He jumped back while his aunt was holding Lu Fan back while telling him to not be impulsive. The bratty princess had no idea what happened and questioned Kui Hongtai about what he was doing and that she wanted to teach this guy a lesson. After tasting an attack from Lu Fan's big black machete, Kui Hongtai thought that there was something wrong with Lu Fan. Lu Fan stepped toward bratty princess and delivered a super ultra special backhand slap right on her cheek. Well, this does not count as child abuse, does it? Well, they are not in America, so who knows? He told her that he did not care which country's princess she was. She should just shut her noisy mouth, take her trash, and leave his home. Watching the bratty princess getting slapped, Kui Hongtai attacked Lu Fan while yelling, "How can he lay a hand on the princess?" Lu Fan easily deflected his attack with the big black machete. And his spear wand got knocked out of his hand. Kui Hongtai then shifted his focus to the princess, who was holding her cheek while sitting on the ground. He asked her if she was okay. The princess then instantly passed on the super ultra special slap to Kui Hongtai, and called him trash while questioning him that does she look okay to him. She commanded him to kill Lu Fan, even if they can't find any other Dragon Tamer. She wanted him dead, he replied saying yes. The scene then shifted to Lu Fan's bedroom where his phone was ringing, and our waifu dragon Xiaoyi was annoyed by it. The person calling him at this time was Little Chin. She thought it was strange that he did not answer the phone, and it surely was the number that Lu Fan had given her when they went back to the city. He thought she might have remembered it wrong. She was walking in the street while wondering about Lu Fan's house location. There was a blast from the nearby wall, and she was startled.